The Children of Shadow, the birth of the hidden people. Prologue, the world before shadows. In the beginning, the world was new, and the rivers sang with clarity. The earth had only recently been shaped by divine hands, and every tree, every star, every stone gleamed as though it remembered the touch of creation. Humanity, still young and uncertain, walked the garden paths and learned to name all things. Among them was Eve, the mother of humankind, whose days were filled with laughter, burden, and care. She bore many children, more than she could count, and each day her household grew louder with the sound of little feet and curious voices. Yet as the world multiplied, so too did Eve's anxieties. For with every new child came new responsibility, and with responsibility came the fear of falling short. It was on such a day of fear that fate began its slow turn, a turn that would one day lead to Iceland, to lava fields and mossy stones, to the tales of the hidden people whispered around firelight centuries later. Chapter 1. Eve's Dilemma. Eve rose at dawn to wash her children in the stream that ran clear through Eden's edge. The morning sun painted the waters gold, and she called her children one by one, scrubbing their hands and faces, smoothing their hair until they shone. But there were too many. Some splashed mud on one another before she had finished with them. Some squirmed and ran, and others sat sulking on the banks. Eve's arms ached, her patience waned, and the stream seemed to flow faster than her hands could work. It was then she heard a voice, not the voice of Adam nor of her children, but the voice that filled the garden with weight and wonder. God himself was coming to see her. Her heart leapt, panic surged, for not all of her children were clean. Some were still caked in dirt, their faces smudged, their hair tangled with twigs. How could she present them so? Shame, sharp and sudden, clutched at her. "Hurry," she whispered to the children, but the little ones only laughed and rolled in the grass. With trembling hands, Eve gathered them, pushing the unwashed behind the bushes, behind stones, into the shadows of trees. Then she turned and faced the Lord with the brightest smile she could muster, as though nothing at all was amiss. God looked upon her children and said, "Are these all, Eve? Every son and daughter that I have given you?" Her voice quavered, "Yes, Lord, these are all my children." But the Lord's gaze pierced deeper than her words. His eyes swept the garden, and he knew what was hidden. "What is hidden from me shall remain hidden from men," he declared, his voice thundering across the water. At his words, the shadows seemed to stir, and the bushes rustled as though with sudden wind. Eve's hidden children cried out, but their cries were muffled, as if caught behind a veil. When she ran to them, they were gone from her sight, vanished from the world she knew. Eve fell to her knees in despair, her heart torn between the children she could hold and the children she could no longer see. Thus were the hidden people born. Chapter 2. The Awakening of the Hidden. The hidden children found themselves in a twilight realm, neither entirely severed from the world of men nor fully within it. The air was thicker, the light dimmer, as though the sun shone through a veil. They called to Eve, but she did not hear them. They reached for her, but their hands passed through the leaves and stones that separated them. Fear gripped them. Were they cursed, forgotten? Yet in time they discovered they could see the world of men, faintly as through a mist. They could watch their brothers and sisters play and could hear their laughter. But whenever they tried to step across the veil, the world resisted. In their sorrow they wandered. Some found caves and made them homes, some nestled in hollow hills, others burrowed into rocks where the echoes of the earth sang to them. Though unseen, they lived. They grew. They built halls of light within the stones, feasting in silence while men above plowed their fields. And they waited, uncertain of what their fate might be. Chapter 3. The Lord's Judgment. But God did not abandon them entirely. One night, as the stars burned bright, his voice reached across the veil. "You are hidden," he said, "not for punishment alone, but for purpose. For men will walk paths of pride and folly, forgetting humility. You shall remind them of what they cannot see, of what lies beyond their grasp. You shall be shadows in their midst, warnings in their hearts." Some among the hidden children wept, longing to be seen, to be held again by their mother. Others took pride, saying, "We are chosen for mystery. We are guardians of secrets men are not worthy to behold." Thus division grew among them, sorrow and pride, longing and defiance. And in that division lay the seeds of all the tales to come. Chapter 4. The Wanderings of the Hidden. Centuries passed. The children of men spread across the earth, building towers and cities. The hidden folk followed unseen, drawn to rivers and forests, to mountains and valleys. But no land called to them like the far-off island rising from the sea, Iceland. It was a place where fire met ice, where mountains smoked and rivers steamed, where the earth cracked open with thunder and the skies filled with lights of green and red. Here, the hidden felt kinship, for this was a land half in shadow, half in light, a land as divided as they were. They crossed the seas unseen, slipping into lava caves, settling beneath mossy stones, weaving halls of crystal beneath glaciers. While men battled storms above, the hidden built kingdoms below. And when the Norse came with their longships, they found not an empty island but one already thrumming with unseen life. Chapter 5. First Meetings. At first men glimpsed only flickers, a face in the mist, a laugh on the wind. A woman in shining robes steps from a rock, only to vanish when approached. Farmers told tales of tools borrowed in the night, returned sharper than before. Hunters spoke of following a deer only to find themselves lost in a circle of strange lights. One tale tells of Bjorn, a settler who struck his axe against a great boulder to split it for building stone. That night, he dreamed of a woman with hair like flame who warned, "Touch our home again, and your cattle will sicken." Bjorn woke sweating, and the next day his best cow lay dead. He never touched the boulder again. Such stories spread quickly, for Icelanders lived close to the land, and the land itself seemed to whisper of unseen neighbors. Chapter 6. The Church and the Hidden People. When Christianity came to Iceland around the year 1000, the priests sought to explain these tales. To them, the hidden folk were not gods or demons, but Eve's lost children, cursed by her shame. Do not worship them, the priests warned. They are neither angels nor devils, but the unseen kin of mankind. Respect them, but give glory only to God. Yet the people's hearts were torn, for the hidden folk were part of their daily lives, unpredictable, mysterious, sometimes kind, sometimes cruel. To dismiss them was impossible. To honor them was dangerous. And so Icelanders walked a careful path, crossing themselves before passing elf stones, whispering prayers when building near hills, leaving food at thresholds, just in case. Chapter 7. The Legacy of Shame. The hidden people themselves remembered their origin. They knew they were born of Eve's shame, hidden away when they should have been revealed. Some bore resentment. "Why should we be cursed for our mother's fear?" they asked. Others said, "In being hidden, we are made eternal. Men die and return to dust. We remain in the stones forever." Their dual nature, half sorrow, half pride, mirrored the land they dwelt in. Beautiful yet dangerous, fertile yet barren. And so the hidden people became bound to Iceland's soul, neither wholly cursed nor wholly blessed, but forever mysterious. Chapter 8. The Eternal Watchers. Even now, they say, the hidden people watch. When roads are built and stones moved, accidents follow until apologies are made. When children wander into the hills, they return with stories of feasts in glowing halls. They are reminders of Eve's choice, of the weight of shame and of the truth that not all things can be seen. The hidden people live among us still, not only in Iceland's rocks and lava fields, but in every shadow of human doubt and wonder. For what is hidden from God may yet shape the destiny of men.